Chapter 19.1 Miners, Ranchers, and Cowhands. In the mid-1800s, many American settlers came to the West seeking opportunities. Because of the influx of people, the mining industry, cattle industry, and other occupations grew and became popular. As railroads thrived, many natural resources such as minerals, timbers, crops, and cattle were transported by trains. These trains also brought along many miners, farmers, and ranchers. When gold and silver was discovered in Colorado and Nevada, it drew many fortune seekers. Around 100,000 miners traveled to Colorado. Numerous mines got very rich because of the surplus of valuable ores. For example, the Comstock Lode mine made around $300 million in gold and silver. The large produce of ores resulted in many towns becoming boom towns. These were towns that had a large burst of economic or population growth. The population rose from 3,000 in the 1860s to 20,000 in the 1870s. The mining industry ended around 1890. It ended because many miners got lung disease from the dust in the mines. Some mines closed and trapped miners 100 feet below the surface. Most of the vegetation of the sides of mountains were stripped away, and many rivers were left polluted. Various mines closed due to costs becoming too high. The once thriving communities became ghost towns. The extension of railroads made cattle trade possible for the rest of the nation. Joseph McCoy thought of shipping cattle on the trains. Ranchers hired cowhands that would drive the cattle herds north. McCoy's cattle plan turned into a very profitable business. The drives to the cow towns were called long drives. Since the cow towns had no law enforcement, there was a lot of crime. People took the law into their own hands to try to stop the crime. These vigilantes went away after the townspeople elected sheriffs. The cattle industry fell because the cattle supply went up, so the prices went down. Also, barbed wire was invented. When people claimed land before, it was open. Now they fenced their land in so the cattle couldn't roam freely. The final contributing reason was that the winter of 1886 to 1887 was extremely harsh and killed much of the cattle. Vaqueros, or the first cowhands, helped Spanish and Mexican ranchers manage their animals. The American cowhands learned from the vaqueros and took the ideas of the saddle, spurs, and lariats or ropes used to bring in calves or other cattle. They also used the idea of the chaps, or long pants worn by cowhands. Around 1/3 of cowhands were either Mexican or African American. Many of these African Americans were former slaves. They were also former soldiers who became cowhands. Both the mining and cattle industries were very successful businesses that helped many cities and even the nation grow. It provided opportunities for Americans in the West and overall increased the population for new states.